Welcome back to another episode today. In today's episode, I'm going to be doing something that I mentioned to you in the last episode of my channel. It is Game Week 1 of my Premier League predictions for 2023-2024. I did predictions at the end of last season for the Premier League for the last for 2 weeks, and then I stopped after those 2 weeks. So I'm back again, but for this year, but I'm back again with Premier League predictions. But this is going to be not just a one-time thing, not just a two-time thing, not just a three-time thing. It's going to be a 38 video thing. Every week, every Thursday. I'm currently filming this on Wednesday, but it will be released on Thursday. Every Thursday, I will be giving you my Premier League predictions for each match week or game week, as however you want to call it. Before we do go through that, I'm going to go and show you my fantasy team. So I made my fantasy team. I'm pretty happy with my fantasy team. I will need to get it up somewhere. Wait 1 second. Now I need to try and remember what my password was. I think it was Cobra Kai. Yep, it was. Okay, so I'm on to fantasy. So I did my fantasy team earlier on. I did my fantasy team 5, 6, 7 of 4 or 5 weeks ago. I don't know how long, but I built my fantasy team for a couple of weeks, many weeks ago, and I think I built a pretty good team. So in terms of goalkeepers, I got Aaron Ramsdale from. My two goalkeepers were Aaron Ramsdale from Arsenal and David Raya from Brentford, but obviously he's going to be Arsenal too. So once Raya makes the move from Brentford to Arsenal, then I will have 2 Arsenal goalkeepers. I have 5 defenders: Sven Botman from Newcastle, Ben White from Arsenal, Pedro Porro from Tottenham, and Estupinian from Brighton, and Gvardiol, City's new signing from Man City, my club. Midfielders, I've got 5 midfielders. My 5 midfielders are Matoma from Brighton, Ødegaard from Arsenal, Diaby from Villa, Grealish from Man City, and then Eze from Palace on the bench. And my 3 attackers are, who are all starting in my team, Cody Gakpo from Liverpool, Erling Braut Haaland up top, who's as my captain from Man City, and Isaac as my vice captain from Newcastle. Obviously the deadline for Premier League Fantasy for the first game week is Friday the 11th of August, so this coming Friday at 6:30, ahead of the opening game of the season between my club Man City and Burnley at Turf Moor. Speaking of, now that I've gone through my fantasy team, let's get to the predictions for game week 1. So, we're going to quickly get Super Brew up, which is a predictor. Oh yeah. So we're going to quickly click what team I support, Man City. Join Premier League Predictor. Okay, now we can finally do my predictions. So, we're now on Super Bowl, and we've got, like I said, we've got 38 rounds to get through over the next 6-7 months. So hopefully you're prepared and ready to hear my predictions for 38 weeks in a row. So for the next 38 weeks, I will be giving you my predictions, my Premier League predictions. So Premier League predictions will come out every Thursday for the next 38 weeks. And you can watch them, and you can watch me predict them right here on Gibby O'Brien. So let's get on with the opening round of fixtures. So, fingers crossed we can get this do well. I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to be predicting every week, round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on, until we get to game week 38, until we get to the final weekend of the Premier League 2023-2024 season. So, first game on the Friday night at 8 o'clock. This Friday at 8 o'clock. Our first game is Manchester City versus Burnley at Turf Moor. So obviously Vince Company at home to his former employers in Man City. Pre-season, I'm not following much into Burnley's pre-season, so I don't know how well they've done in pre-season. And in terms of City, we beat Yokohama F. Marinos from Japan, coming back from 2-0 down to win 5-3. Then we followed that up with a 2-1 win against Bayern Munich, also in Tokyo again. And then we ended our Tokyo tour of Asia, Japan and South Korea, with a 2-1 defeat to Atletico Madrid. And then we came back from pre-season, signed Josko Gvardiol, and he made his first appearance at a City game when we lost on penalties to Arsenal in the Community Shield. So I don't know how strong City are going to be after that defeat in the Community Shield final. And Burnley, they last season had a very good record at Turf Moor, but City playing on the opening day as the first fixture of the Premier League season for the first time in a long time. It's going to be difficult at Turf Moor because Burnley are a good side. But I got to back my Man City boys, and I'm going to go a comfortable 3-1 win with Haaland getting a brace, and I do believe Gvardiol will get a debut goal. And as for Burnley, I'm going to say Anas Zaroury will get the goal for Burnley. So yes, Man City 3, Burnley 1. Next up is City's title challengers last season, Arsenal at home at the Emirates to Nottingham Forest. So Arsenal have just won the Community Shield. They've signed Declan Rice from West Ham, Ewan Timber from Ajax, and Kai Havertz from Chelsea, which might go well as a signing. They're currently in talks with Brentford to sign David Raya, while their backup goalkeeper, who David Raya will replace, Matt Turner, has gone to Nottingham Forest. So he will be making his Nottingham Forest debut at the Emirates against his former employers in Arsenal. But I think he's going to be in for a tough time, and he's going to lose, because Arsenal are going to go and comfortably win 2-0. With goals from Bukayo Saka and new signing Declan Rice. Next up, we have a game at the Vitality between Bournemouth and West Ham. In the previous game between these two sides, West Ham absolutely demolished Bournemouth 4-0. West Ham, up to when I'm filming this video, haven't properly signed a player, but they are close to signing Edson Alvarez from Ajax. They've agreed a fee, and they've agreed a fee of £30 million for Harry Maguire for Manchester United, and they have also agreed a deal of £30 million with West Ham and they also agreed a £30 million. So they agreed a £30 million with Man United for Harry Maguire, and a deal of £30 million with Southampton for James Ward-Prowse. It's unlikely that Ward-Prowse and Maguire. It could be likely that Maguire and Ward-Prowse are available to play this game against Bournemouth, but I do believe we will have our first draw of the week. But it's going to be an entertaining draw because Bournemouth, but West Ham is going to finish. Bournemouth 2 with goals from Solanke and Tavernier, and West Ham 2 with goals from Lucas Paqueta, who's linked with Man City, and Mikel Antonio. So 2-2 Bournemouth 2, West Ham 2. Next up is Brighton, who are in Europe for the first time ever. Will be playing the team making their debut in the Premier League, Luton Town. Luton, 5 years ago, many years ago, were in the National League. They got promoted from the National League to League 2, and they managed to find their way from League 2 to League 1, from League 1 to Championship, and now the Championship to the Premier League. They have one player, I don't know what his name is, but there's one player in the Luton team who, if he makes an appearance in the Premier League, will have been the first player to make an appearance in the Premier League, Championship, League 1, League 2 and National League. No one has ever made an appearance for the same club in the National League, League 2, League 1, Championship or Premier League. So if he scores, he does exactly that. It's going to be a hard game for Luton at Brighton at the MX. As I'm filming this video, a couple of hours ago, on the day I'm filming this video, Luton signed Ross Barkley on a free transfer, who was released in the summer by Nice. So he will be in time. He will be signed in time for this game against Brighton. But I can't see anything but a Brighton win. So I'm going to go Brighton 4, Luton Town 1. With goals for Brighton for Matoma, Brighton will score through Matoma with 2, Solly March and Pascal Gross, with Luton scoring through their top goal scorer last season, Carlton Morris. Next up is Everton versus Fulham. Everton, I honestly don't know how I'm going to predict them this season. They're so inconsistent. They've made some okay signings. They've signed Danjuma from Villarreal on a loan deal. They've signed a youngster from Sporting. But other than that, they just haven't done much in the transfer window. And I just think they're going to struggle this season. But at Goodison Park, they have a chance of beating Fulham, who at the end of last season didn't have the best run of form. They kept losing games while Mitrovic was suspended. They kept losing games. So yeah, I'm not sure with Fulham what's going to happen between an Everton and Fulham side. I'm going to go, because it's at Goodison Park, with a sneaky 1-0 win for Everton. I might be completely wrong, but for now, I'm going to go with Everton 1, Fulham 0. The goal scored by the relegation saver last season, Abdoulaye Doucouré. Next up, the third and final promoted side, Sheffield United, who were playing Crystal Palace at Bramall Lane. Crystal Palace obviously confirmed this summer that Roy Hodgson will spend another season at the club as their manager. So that's pretty good. Elise, who's out injured right now and won't come back until October from his injury, is linked with both Chelsea and Man City. But if Elise does leave, they have Eze, so they're going to be fine without at least 8 for me. And I'm going to say they're going to sneak a 2-1 win away from home against Sheffield United. I'm going to say for Crystal Palace, Eze with both goals. And then for Sheffield United, I'm going to go... Who could score for Sheffield United? Then you one of them... For Sheffield United, I'm going to go... I'm going to go 2-0 Palace. 2-0. I can't think of anyone who could score a goal. So Sheffield United will lose 2-0 in their first game back in the Premier League at Bramall Lane by 2-0, with Eze scoring both goals for Crystal Palace. Next up is the final game of Friday and Saturday. So you had City Burnley on Friday, and then you had Arsenal Forest, Bournemouth West Ham, Brighton Luton, Everton Fulham, Sheffield United Palace on Saturday. The final game on Saturday and Friday. The final game before we head into Sunday's games is Newcastle at home to Aston Villa. So, the last time these two teams faced, Aston Villa absolutely dominated Newcastle. They won 3-0. It was pretty comfortable. But since then, both teams have changed. Newcastle have brought in Harvey Barnes, Tino Livramento, who literally just came in a couple of days ago, and Sandro Tonali. 3 very good, very promising signings. Villa brought in Pau Torres, absolutely one of the best. He will be one of the best signings of this season. They've also signed Moussa Diaby, who's a very good player, has made many appearances in the Bundesliga and did very well in the Bundesliga for Leverkusen. And they also signed, what was his name? I forgot who this. There was one more player that Aston Villa signed that I can't think of. Oh yeah, they bought Pau Torres in from Villarreal. Aston Villa bought in Pau Torres from Villarreal, Moussa Diaby from Bayer Leverkusen, and on a free transfer, Yuri Tielemans. All 3 of those signings, Yuri Tielemans, Pau Torres, and Diaby, have looked pretty good so far in the appearances they've made. This is going to be a tough game for both teams. I think Newcastle are going to struggle against Villa, but also I think Villa are going to struggle against Newcastle. For score prediction, I'm going to just edge Newcastle in a 3-2 thriller. Goals from Isaac, Callum Wilson, and Jacob and Joel Linton for Newcastle. And for Villa, it will be Moussa Diaby scoring his first goal. For Aston Villa in the Premier League. And I'm also going to say Ollie Watkins will get the goal for Aston Villa. So Newcastle 3, Callum Wilson, Joel Linton, Isaac. Villa 2, Diaby, Watkins. Now we're on to Sunday's games. Starting with, we've got 2 games on Sunday. We have Brentford Tottenham first up. Brentford are probably going to lose Raya before the game against Tottenham. So it looks like they're one of the new signings, Flecken from Freiburg, is going to have to start. So I worry for Brentford in the goalkeeping department. But I also worry for Tottenham in the goalkeeping department. Because Tottenham have a goalkeeper who was in the Serie A last season called Vicario in goal. So I have concerns with both Brentford and Tottenham in terms of goalkeeping, in terms of their goalkeepers going into this week. If Brentford lose Raya, obviously. Tottenham, will Harry Kane still be at the club? I don't think he will, but will he still? There's a chance he could still be at Tottenham by the time they play Brentford. But given I don't know who to edge this game towards. I'm thinking of possibly going to draw not a 0-0 draw, because there's no way. I'm thinking like a 1-1 draw because of their goalkeeping because of the goalkeepers they will start in the game. I'm just going to edge Brentford with that home crowd. Brentford 2, Tottenham 1. For Brentford, I think it will be Johan Wissa and Brian Mbeumo. And for Tottenham, I'm going to go... I do believe Kane will still be at Tottenham by the time the Brentford game comes around. So I'm going to say Harry Kane will get the goal for Tottenham. But if he isn't still at Tottenham by the time they face Brentford, then I'll say Heung-min Son will get the goal. So Brentford 2, Tottenham 1. Wissa and Mbeumo getting the goals for Brentford. If Kane is still at the Tottenham by the time this game happens, Kane will score the goal for Tottenham. If he isn't, then Son will score the goal for Tottenham. Final game of the weekend is another live game. Both games on Sunday are live. Brentford, Tottenham, and the other live game on Sunday at 4:30 is Chelsea in Pochettino's first game against Liverpool at Stamford Bridge. Oh, and I forgot to mention with Tottenham, obviously Postecoglou making his first appearance as Spurs manager in the Premier League. So curious to see how he does. I'm not predicting him to start off amazingly well, but we'll see how he does. And speaking of, and like I said, talking of other managers who are new at their clubs, Chelsea will be playing their first Premier League game under Mauricio Pochettino against Liverpool, who, unlike Chelsea, will be in European football, but not in the Champions League, in the Europa League. Which means I do believe Liverpool, with being in the Europa League instead of the Champions League, means Liverpool, for me, can focus solely on the Premier League. And that's why I got them, and that's why I put them second in my Premier League predictions, which I gave to you last video. But yeah, I think, so yeah. Are Chelsea going to, and Chelsea brought in loads of signings, but one of their signings, Christopher Nkunku, is going to be out for 2, 3, maybe 4 months. He's going to be out for a very long time. So I just think without Nkunku, I just don't think Chelsea have a goal scoring threat. So I'm going to go Liverpool 3, Chelsea 1 at Stamford Bridge. For Liverpool, it will be Salah, Jota, and Nunez with the goals. And for Chelsea, I'm going to say Nicholas Jackson will score the goal. But yeah, Liverpool 3, Chelsea 1. For Liverpool, Jota, Salah, Nunez. For Chelsea, Nicholas Jackson. And the final game for this video, the final game of Game Week 1 for the Premier League, and the final game of this predictions video for Game Week 1 is Manchester United at home to Wolves, who have literally just appointed Gary O'Neill, ex-Bournemouth boss, to replace Julian Lopetegui after he was, at the time, after Julian Lopetegui had his contract terminated. And not only that, Gary O'Neill just literally earlier today, as I'm filming this, the day I'm filming this video, he just literally became Wolves' new manager. So, Man United at Old Trafford against Wolves, with Wolves playing their first game under new boss Gary O'Neill. But I'm going to get through this prediction straight and easy. A simple 2-0 win for Manchester United. I do think the goals will be scored by no Rasmus Højlund for Man United, but still no problem for me. The goals will be scored by Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford to give Man United a 2-0 win at home at Old Trafford to Wolves. So, let me go through my predictions once more. At Turf Moor, Burnley 1, Man City 3. At the Emirates, Arsenal 2, Forest 0. At the Vitality, Bournemouth 2, West Ham 2. At the Amex, Brighton 4, Luton 1. At Goodison Park, Everton 1, Fulham 0. Bramall Lane, Sheffield United 0, Palace 2. At St James's Park, Newcastle 3, Villa 2. At the Brentford Community Stadium, Brentford 2, Tottenham 1. At Stamford Bridge, Chelsea 1, Liverpool 3. And at Old Trafford, Man United 2, Wolves 0. So those are my Premier League predictions for Game Week 1 of the 2023-2024 Premier League season. So yeah, like I said, we'll go through scores one more time. Man City 3, Burnley 1 at Turf Moor. Arsenal 2, Forest 0 at the Emirates. Bournemouth 2, West Ham 2 at the Vitality. Brighton 4, Luton 1 at the Amex. Everton 1, Fulham 0 at Goodison. Sheffield United 0, Crystal Palace 2 at Bramall Lane. Newcastle 3, Villa 2 at St James's Park. Brentford 2, Tottenham 1 at the Brentford Community Stadium. Chelsea 1, Liverpool 3 at Stamford Bridge. And Man United 2, Wolves 0 at Old Trafford. Hopefully, you subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell to catch up with all my latest videos, and tune in next Thursday for my Game Week 2 Premier League predictions for the 2023-2024 Premier League season. But until then, this has been Gibby O'Brien. I am out, and adios to you. Peace.